This week on Battle of the Ports, we are taking a look at the true Wonder Boy 3, known as Dragon's Trap, or Wonder Boy 2, The Dragon's Trap. The game was developed by Westone and released by Sega on the Master System on September 1989. Rather than just being a straightforward platformer, The Dragon's Trap is what we'd call an action RPG. The game takes place after the events of Wonder Boy Monsterland, in which Wonder Boy has been cursed by the Mecha Dragon and must locate the Salamander Cross to lift it. The game is non-linear and features varying landscapes in which the player must navigate. The player finds items and clues needed to access different parts of Monsterland, and they can transform into other forms and gain different abilities. Throughout the game, players go through differently themed levels: underwater, desert, jungle, cave and sky. At the end of each level is a different dragon boss. After defeating a dragon, Wonder Boy changes form, and his abilities also change. Wonder Boy begins the game as a human, followed by Lizard Man, Mouse Man, Piranha Man, Lion Man, and finally Hawk Man. Each character as you play allows you to reach previously unreachable areas, making for a very impressive non-linear experience for the time. I must also mention that in 1993, Tectoy released the game in Brazil for the Master System under the title of Turma da Mônica o Resgate. All playable forms of Wonder Boy were replaced with badly drawn character sprites from the Brazilian comic book series Mônica's Gang. Personally, I think this looks really poor, with the new sprites looking more like a cheap hack than an official game. On March 27th, the Game Gear version of Wonder Boy 3 was released. This was ported in-house by Westone on a 2 megabit cartridge. At first it seems the Game Gear version is just a lower resolution port of the Master System game. I mean, it uses the same graphical assets, same audio, and handles the same, but it isn't just a lower resolution port. This Game Gear version has many changes made to the play areas. Many have been simplified in level complexity to fit onto the Game Gear's screen. Sadly, a lot of these changes mean you can't go from memory based upon the Master System version, as even access to certain areas has been changed. Sadly, the lower resolution of the Game Gear screen also brings about another issue. Enemies appear much quicker as you walk along, meaning you either get hit by an enemy before you have time to react, or you gingerly walk through each stage hoping not to run directly into an enemy. This really does take away a lot of the fun factor seen in the Master System original. Known as Adventure Island in Japan and Dragon's Curse in the US, this is the PC Engine release of Wonder Boy 3, developed and released by Hudson on April 9th, 1991, over 2.5 years after the Master System original. I see this port as a retro version of what we would call a HD remaster these days. It's basically the Master System game, but with all new fresh graphics and subjectively improved sound. It plays the same, tries to keep all the same sound effects, although I don't think some of them are as good, has the same level design and the same size play window. The only issue I have with this port are the sound effects, and maybe one or two of the music tracks don't sound as good, but then again, maybe that's because I'm so accustomed to the originals. Released in April 2017 came the remake from Lizardcube for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Now of course I'd rather have the Xbox version, but that never got a physical release, and as some may know, I'm all about the real deal, so here is the PlayStation 4 version. So, does this play just the same as the Master System and PC Engine versions? The simple answer is no. Lizardcube have made a few tweaks to the gameplay that slightly changed the feel, but not enough to put off veteran Wonder Boy 3 fans. There are some changes to enemy placements, making some areas a little more tricky than the original game, and some enemies have different behaviour patterns too. But overall, the core game is still here. So what about the visuals? At first I wasn't too keen on them, but over time they did grow on me. Now I think they're pretty nice. There's some fantastic use of shading in areas, as well as some subtle 3D effects. I also like the fact that you can skip from modern to Master System graphics on the fly. Talking of Master System, Lizardcube have added in a few filters, which are okay I guess. But the best thing they've added is the Japanese FM audio. It's cool that they did add this to the game, as Western players may have not heard this version of the soundtrack before. I'm not sure how I feel about the new music though in the remake. Some of it is okay, but to me at least, many of the tracks are lacking the melancholy feel that the originals had. And we'll finish off with this excellent original remake of sorts by Vile, which was made public in 2007 for Windows 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems. Known as Dragon's Curse, the name used for the US PC Engine release, this game is more of a remix version that feels very much like the original, but now with altered stage areas. All the graphics are based upon the PC Engine game and are in fact mostly ripped from that game, as well as the music. Overall, this is a fun title that fans of the original may want to check out if they can find it on the net. And let's take a look at all those versions of Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap, running side by side. Well, except for the remake on the PC.